Sometimes we need to transform the result of an asynchronous task. For example, our weather service may return a temperature in a complex data structure, but perhaps we're only interested in the temperature as a numeric value. So we want to map or transform the result into a different type. Or as another example, imagine the weather service returns the temperature in Celsius, but we want to print it in Fahrenheit. So let me show you how to do that. First, I'm going to create a completable future using the supply async method. Here we pass a supplier that returns the temperature in Celsius, let's say 20 degrees. Now we get a completable future and store it over here. This future object has a method called thenApply. So as I told you before, whenever you see then, that means execute this piece of code after this task or this future is complete. So with the apply method, we can convert or map the result to a different type. We also have then apply async, which will execute this code asynchronously. So it will submit it as a new task to the underlying executor. Okay. So let's call then apply. Here we should pass a function that takes an integer and maps it to a different type. So we get the result in Celsius, and we can convert it to Fahrenheit using this formula. Celsius times 1.8 plus 32. Now, just like the exceptionally method that you learned about in the last video, this method returns a new completable future. So if we call the get method on this completable future, we'll get the result in Fahrenheit. Let me show you. So we call get and store the result over here. Now to make our code cleaner, it's nicer to put each method on a new line. That is better. Now let's wrap this inside a try-catch block. So we get the result in Fahrenheit and then print it. So that is 68 degrees. Beautiful. Now we can make this code better. Instead of passing this formula as a lambda, we can encapsulate this inside a method. So I'm going to add a static method in this class, public static integer to Fahrenheit, a bit hard to spell. We give it a parameter called Celsius. And here we return Celsius times 1.8 plus 32. Now here we have a compilation error because the result of this expression is a double, but we're expecting an integer. We can solve this by casting this to an integer. The problem is gone. Now we can replace this lambda with a method reference. So the name of our class is Completable Futures Demo. We type Completable Futures Demo, : to Fahrenheit. That is better. Now, here we don't have to call the get method. Earlier I showed you how to run code upon completion of a task. We talked about two methods, then run for executing a task, and then accept for executing a task, but also passing the result to that task. So I'm going to simplify this code. Let's grab what we have inside this try block, cut it. We don't need the try block anymore. So here we create a completable future to call our remote API. Then we transform the result to Fahrenheit. Now, instead of calling the get method, we call then accept because we want to get the result. The result here is going to be temperature in Fahrenheit. So F goes to print F. Now, we don't need the print statement anymore, and we don't need this variable either. So we build a completable future, then we transform it, and finally we accept or consume the result. Let's run our program. There you go. So here's the temperature in Fahrenheit. So this is the benefit of completable futures. With these completable futures, we can build complex asynchronous operations in a declarative way.